Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Oh my god, I'm so happy to be doing a sit down video with y'all. I'm so excited for this video, y'all. 2:09 to be exact in the morning, and I just felt the need to do a video, y'all. I actually already had this video in mind, but it was just in my heart to do it right now. So here I am with a video for you guys. You guys can see by the title, I will be doing a Q&A. I don't really do Q&As on my channel, and I really want to start doing them. And I know that I did share with you guys my birth experience as far as like my actual labor and delivery when I actually had my baby, but I didn't really follow up with you guys about like my actual experience as far as verbally telling you guys like my birth experience. It's just like my pregnancy experience in general. When I was actually pregnant, I actually did not really post on my channel like that, so I didn't really share with you guys like my pregnancy journey. I want to start a series pertaining to like my pregnancy and my birth experience, and also my just me being a mother as well. I want to start doing more content pertaining to that part of my life. What other way to start it out than to do a Q&A. So I actually am going to break it down into like a few different parts, to be honest, because there's different like, topics that I want to talk about. So if you guys are interested and stay tuned to this video, I actually, about a week and a half ago, I would say, I actually posted on my Instagram. I told people to ask me questions that they had for me revolving my pregnancy experience, my birth experience, and me just being a mother in general. And I got a few questions, but I also just added some questions in myself that I just feel like are frequently asked questions. I can't really answer all the questions in this video. So like I said, there will be different parts, so stay tuned for like part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, because I feel like there's endless. I feel like you can never ask enough questions when it comes to like giving birth and like being pregnant and being a mom. So let me start rambling on, and we're gonna get straight into it. Hardest part about giving birth, and this is, like I said, my personal experiences. Obviously, everybody has their own experiences. But for me, the hardest part about me giving birth was probably, it's a little bit between the contractions that I had before I actually got to the hospital and the contractions that I had when I was actually at the hospital. I think I'm going to lean more towards the contractions that I had before, because as y'all saw in the video, I was like following up with you guys like the contraction that I was having. But I recorded, like I was able to tell you guys after I had the contractions, because I couldn't even talk when I was actually having the contractions. I was pretty much like in labor without even knowing, probably like the whole night before I actually went to the hospital. So that was probably definitely the hardest part. But I mean, technically, is that giving birth? But yeah, I would say the contractions. I did get epidural, as you guys know. I did give an epidural, and once I got the epidural, it did numb like the contractions, but it, like it can only do so much. It does make it easier, but it can only do so much at the same time. The next question is, do I recommend others to have kids? Now, I don't know if this is necessarily a part of like my birth and pregnancy experience, but the thing about me though is that, like, and I feel like I'm different from a lot of women who have kids, because honestly, a lot of women who have kids, their first thing will be like, oh, don't have kids, wait, and stuff like that, which that may be true for some people. But honestly, I feel like that's kind of weird. I feel like as a mom, I feel like anybody who has kids, I think it's just kind of weird for you to tell people to wait. I mean, if they feel like they want to wait, then let them feel like that. But for me to have a child and I recommend somebody to wait to have kids, that's kind of me saying like I should have waited. And I don't know, me personally, I can't speak for anybody else, but I feel like my child came in my life at the perfect time. I couldn't have imagined her coming any earlier or any later in my life. And I feel like children are a blessing. Like, no matter how they got here or when they got here, I feel like the moment that you have your child, it's your child is supposed to be your motivation to do better and stuff. And I feel like a lot of people say that because they may feel like kids are a distraction, or that you can't really get a lot done when you have kids. But I mean, I don't know what you expect to still want to do when you have a kid, but I'm not a real big like party girl or just like to be out in the mix anyways. I've always been to myself a homebody type of girl, so I feel like it's no different with me having a kid. I honestly feel like my kid made my life a lot more interesting, because before I had a child, I was just real boring and stuff. But with me having a child now, it makes me want to do more things and be more lively and stuff like that. But obviously, you know, to each his own. I mean, who am I to tell you to wait? Who am I to tell you to, you know, to have one? I mean, it's up to you. Each and every person know when they feel like they want to have kids. Would I do it all over again? For my baby, for Kanani, yes, I will. In general, well, I don't know. Okay. The thing is, I would do it all over again because I love my baby. Like, I cannot really imagine. Well, I don't want to say that because I might mess around and have more kids. And I don't want to say that, you know, and I never know. You never know what the future may hold. But just off of the simple fact that I have one child now, yes, I would do it all over again, a million times again for her. It's not the easiest, and it also definitely is the scariest thing ever to, you know, to give birth. And just the whole pregnancy thing is just such a roller coaster. But I would experience every single part of it all over again for her. Favorite pregnancy moment. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if this is necessarily a moment, because I feel like a moment is just like one particular thing. But my favorite pregnancy moments, or just like my favorite thing about being pregnant, is y'all. If y'all know, y'all know. When y'all pregnant, y'all literally, it's like a baby all over again. Everybody caters to you. Everybody checking up on you. Everybody doing this for you. Everybody care about you when you're pregnant. And then as soon as you have your baby, it's just like, it's all about the baby, which I love. You know, I love that my baby's getting attention. She deserves it. But it's just like, dang, like, I'm the one that had the baby. Like, nobody checks up on me, which that's going to be in a whole nother video. I'll talk about that in a whole nother video. But yeah, to keep it short, it's just like, that was my favorite pregnancy moments. Like, just feeling like, you know, knowing that people cared about me. Like, I miss that so much. Like, I really do. I think about that a lot. And I feel like as moms, like, especially when you're a new mom, and you know, so it's like still fresh to me. Like, my baby's only like 6 months. So it's still very fresh to me that I just had her. So I still do think about like when I was pregnant, and like just how happy I felt to just be literally like people doing this, doing that for me, everybody checking up on me and pull up a chair for me, you know, like taking off my shoes for me. Like, now I just got to do everything on my own, but it's okay. My scariest pregnancy moment. My scariest pregnancy moments. Okay, it was one particular time when I actually fell. Well, actually, I fell twice when I was pregnant. The first time I fell when I was pregnant, I was about 6 months. I was like 6/7 months pregnant. I fell over a gate, which I don't even really feel like getting into all of that. But yeah, I fell when I was pregnant, and I didn't really fall necessarily on my stomach. I did fall frontwards, but I didn't fall like directly on my stomach. It was more so like on my side, and I was so devastated. Like, I was crying that the rest of that night. I just couldn't believe it. I was so nervous. Like, I'm already like I'm so much of an overthinker. Like, I overthink a lot, so I just thought the worst instantly. But I ended up having a doctor's appointment shortly after, and everything was good. Everything was fine. Obviously, my baby is perfect, so, you know, it didn't do any damages or anything. But that was definitely one of the most scariest pregnancy moments. And then another one was another time when I actually fell. I actually fell on the day of my baby shower, y'all. I was walking, because like leading up to the building, there's like 2 entrances, and one of the entrances is like going straight like outside, and it was like some little steps. It was like 3 or 4 steps, and I was actually meeting one of my friends that had just came, and I was meeting her. I was going outside to meet her, and as I was walking down the steps, I fell, and I had like some little platform slides, and I must have just tripped over the slides or something. I don't know, but I fell going down the stairs, and I literally fell on the ground. But I didn't fall frontwards. It was more, I fell more so like on my hands. So I scraped my hands and I scraped my knee. It was crazy, but yeah. I recommend formula or breastfeeding. Okay, so my thing is, I had a whole birth / like not parenting, but like a whole plan when it came to that. I was so stern on my baby being breastfed. Like, I was just like one of those people who was like, I do not want my baby to be drinking formula milk. It's so much different things going on with this formula milk and chemicals and stuff. I was just so stern on her breastfeeding, me breastfeeding her. So what's so crazy is that like my baby was born on the 27th, but we actually didn't get to go home until the 29th because they said that she was a little bit on the smaller side. So they had to like watch her sugars and stuff and take like a lot of little blood tests on her for like the next 2 days. So, you know, like when you have your baby, they ask you like, do you want to breastfeed or do you want to or that are you planning on doing a formula? So I told them that I plan on breastfeeding, and it was just like, okay, so do you want to try latching her onto your nipple now that you're at the hospital, or do you want to wait till you get home? And the thing is with that, like my plan, I wanted to breastfeed, but I didn't want her to be directly from my nipple. I wanted to more so pump and then give her the milk that I pump. So I don't know, because it's like, it really did not feel right. Like my baby really literally sucking on my breast. I don't know. That's just me. But I was like, no, I'll just wait until I go home, because also because there was other people in the room, and I don't know. I was just too much in my head, to be honest. So I was just giving her the formula milk while we were at the hospital. But I was like, okay, when I go home, I'm gonna start breastfeeding her, see if she like it, breastfeeding. But I honestly should have tried it at the hospital to even see if she was even gonna like it. But I never did that. And then once we went home, it was more, I was just like so like just tunnel vision on just taking care of her, had a fresh newborn. Even though I kept saying like, oh, I'm gonna try to breastfeed thing, I just never did. Like I just kept throwing it off. Every week and every week I say I'm gonna get a breast pump and I'm gonna try it out. Never did. And yeah, basically to this day. I mean, I did buy one about a month and a half ago, probably about a month ago. I bought a breast pump and I tried it, and girl, nothing happened. So I was in my feelings about that because I was so big on wanting to breastfeed. But I said all of that to say, that it really depends on you. You know, you have some women that they don't really care to breastfeed. Some women that want to breastfeed and they can't, because some women just cannot produce as much milk as the baby needs, in order to like be able to rely strictly on breast milk. Some women, what they do is they breastfeed and they also do formula too. It really just depends on you. Every woman's body is different and every baby is different. You may even be able to breastfeed, like as far as like producing milk, and your baby may not like it. All babies are not going to just naturally automatically like breast milk. So it really just determines on the situation. Like I can say you can have that in mind, like you can plan to do that and it may not go as you wanted it to. But ultimately, like just generally speaking, I do recommend breast milk just because it's like from your body. It's a natural thing. You don't have to really worry about all these recalls on formula milk and stuff. But my baby has been drinking Similac Advanced since she was born, and I have had any problem with it. It hasn't done her any bad at all. So like I said, it's really just up to you and what you can do and what your baby can intake. What was my birth plan? So I don't think I really touched on this with y'all in my labor and delivery video, but I was one of the ones that said I do not want to do epidural, and I just knew I could do it naturally. And the thing is, because honestly, like as young as I am, I always have like problems with my back. My back will hurt like for no reason. I've been like that for a long time. So I was just like, I always hear so many horror stories about epidural, and they always talk about how it's like a long-term back pain. Like, not that every woman is just going to feel it all the time, but you're just bound to have back pains a lot after you get epidural. And I'm just like, I'm not really trying to go through that. Like, if I can do natural, I will. I'm telling y'all, every time somebody asked me what my birth plan was, it was if I was going to do epidural or not. I was like, oh no, man, I'm going to do naturally. I was just like so confident in going natural. But as y'all saw in the video, by the time I made it to the hospital, I was already 5 centimeters, which my mama stated to this day, she was like that I really could have went like natural full force. But honestly, them contractions ain't no joke. Like, it had me rethinking all my life choices. Like, like for real, because like why it hurt so bad? I did have a very good labor and delivery experience, and I think it was because I took the epidurals. But it didn't go as planned, and that's okay. I mean, don't feel bad about it. Some women, they feel like they're better than others because they get epidural, and it's just like, at the end of the day, we are all super heroes for real. Like, we pushed out a baby, whether you did it naturally, whether you did it in the, the other way. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we did something that men can't do. For real. Did my birth plan go as expected? So obviously I kind of just answered that. It did not really go as expected. But like I said, at the end of the day, I did what I had to do. I pushed out a beautiful baby girl in the most healthiest way. No complications. We were good. So it don't matter how I had her, I had her. One thing I would change about my birth experience. One thing I would change about my birth experience. Obviously, like with the whole breastfeeding thing, I really wish that I would have at least gave her my titty just to even have that experience. I would definitely say that I think about that like more than I should. I really wish that I would have gotten more pictures with my baby, like when she was first born. I got pictures, obviously, like my mom and my sister. My child's father was in the room with me when I actually was pushing out my baby. And they got some pictures. They got some good pictures of me and the baby when she was first born. If y'all know me in real life, y'all would understand why it kind of triggers me a little bit. It kind of bothers me because I don't know, I'm just so big on like pictures and keeping memories and stuff. And now that I have a baby, like I have to always make sure that I'm taking pictures of her and with her. But I got some pictures obviously that they took, but I just don't really feel like I got the whole experience of like really holding my baby and just really having a moment with her, if that makes sense. I feel like I was just having to share her with everybody else, which is not a problem, but I was just waiting for her for 9 months. I waited for my baby for 9 months, and I was in love with her from the moment that I found out about her. So I just really wish I would have gotten that moment more with just us two, And like, I just imagine like before I actually had her, before I actually went into labor, I always thought about like how it's gonna be in the room when I see her for the first time, and I would just imagine myself just like cannot stop kissing her, like cannot stop hugging on her and kissing on her. But I really remember, and then I'm off the medication a little bit due to the epidural and stuff. I was already so drowsy. I just don't, I don't know, Lord knows, but it just eats me up so bad that I didn't even kiss my baby when she was first. Y'all saw in the video, like I held her and stuff. It just felt so unbelievable, and I kind of let my current emotions like get the best of me. I be looking at like a lot of women, like when they have their babies, when they be having their babies and stuff, and how they react when they see their baby. And I be wishing that I got a second chance at it, because I would have showed a lot more emotion and stuff. And I don't know if it's weird to say, because I am very grateful for the support that I do have and that I did have in the room. But I almost kind of wish that it was just me in there. Like, obviously I would still, it would still be great to know that I have the support like outside the room. But I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have appreciated if it was just me in there, because like I said, I would have been able to have that one-on-one moment with my baby. And then after, I had her and stuff, and that's when everybody else could come in there. What was my greatest fear when pregnant? What was my greatest fear? I feel like all moms pretty much have the same fear when they're pregnant. Overthinking, basically. Just wanting to always make sure your baby's okay. Just don't, you want your baby to be good. Like, you just hope your baby's always good. My worst fear was just like a miscarriage. Oh my God, miscarriage or stillborn. Oh my God, because it happens so often. But you just gotta stay prayed up, just stay prayed up, and that's the best, and that's the only thing you really can do. How far along did I go? I actually went 38 weeks and 4 days. Yep. My baby came 10 days earlier. She was born on April 27th, but I was due on May 7th. So yep, I had her at 38 weeks and 4 days. Does my epidural still affect me? So it's now been, actually next week will make exactly 6 months since my baby has been born. And to this day, y'all, like I said, I expected it. Once I decided to officially get the epidural, I pretty much knew I was going to be dealing with it for the rest of my life, because like I said, I was already having back pains before. So it really was just like a thing where it's like, I was going to be having back pains regardless if I got epidural or not. And yes, to this day, it hurts. And I know it's the epidural because it's a certain spot where you get the epidural at, and it hurts in that specific spot. Like today, when I was at work, it was hurting. My back been hurting all day today. And, you know, especially like when you're bending down and stuff, you can't really do that too much. Like, it hurts. Like, it really hurts. Now, it doesn't hurt as, like, when I first had her, obviously, because it was real fresh. But I feel like it's a pain that you're pretty much always forever going to feel, even if you don't feel it as often as some women, or if it's not as bad as some women's. But I feel like it's a never-ending experience. It's a never-ending feeling. But I pushed out a whole baby. So if I can push out a whole baby, then I can deal with anything pretty much. My pregnancy cravings. My pregnancy cravings. I didn't really have no specific cravings, like a specific food, which is so crazy. I honestly thought I was going to, because you hear so many women like craving specific foods, like a specific item. I more so crave like certain types of food. I was always eating spicy stuff, and people will always tell me, y'all know how it is when y'all pregnant. People are always saying stuff like, oh, you can't eat this when you're pregnant. Girl, I was eating whatever my baby wanted, and my baby loved spicy food. Even if it was a pack of noodles I was eating, it had to be spicy. I had to add hot sauce, I had to add jalapenos. Everybody just different. I had to add hot sauce, and I had to add jalapenos, y'all. I had to. I have two more questions. Other question was, and this is also another one, like I wanted to talk more about it like in my motherhood questionnaire, but I want to speak on a little bit in this video as well, because I feel like it's a never-ending type of topic. It's about my difficulty, or basically like my experiences with like just my overall thoughts on PPD, which is postpartum depression, and also if I'm experiencing it or have I experienced it thus far, or whatever the case may be. So I do want to start by saying that I do definitely believe in it. I'm not one of those ones, even before I had a baby, I was never one of those ones that didn't feel like it was a thing. I know of women and girls who went through it real bad and are still pretty much struggling with it, and their babies are a couple years old now. I definitely believe in it. I feel like with me, as I was already kind of mentally preparing myself for my baby before my baby actually got here. And I think that they helped me a lot, because I can say, I mean, I've obviously, you know, my life has changed. It'll never be the way that it was before, and I'm okay with that. And I think that's what helped me, is that I planned and I prepared myself of being a mom before I actually physically became a mom. Like, you just have to, well, I'm not going to tell nobody, you know, it is like everybody's different. But like with me personally, I just had to face reality. Like, okay, you're about to create a life. You know, when you are creating a life, you're about to be taking care of a human. Like, you have to just get your stuff together. I really don't have it in me to feel sad about nothing, for real. Like, it's so crazy, because I'm the total opposite of what I was and how I was before I had my baby. Before I had my baby, it was so easy for me to get distracted with things, like even like mentally. Like, I would always get so mentally distracted, and I would always be so quick to give up on things and just life in general. I would always be so sad and be in my feelings about stuff and dwell on things for so long. And I say this like a million times, I'll probably say it a million times, but I had my baby at a time where I felt very less of a person. I felt very worthless, very useless. I feel like human stuff, like human feelings that, you know, we typically feel, I was going through that, and I started to feel that way. And then when God blessed me with my baby girl, it's just like ever since then, like it's not about me no more. So I feel like, I don't know, like, I feel like if I'm not 100% myself, then I can't be 100% for her. And I can't properly raise her the way that I want to raise her. I feel like the way that she deserves to be raised if I'm not 100% myself. And I know we're still human at the end of the day. I'm a human before I'm a mom. So, I mean, of course, we're going to go through our daily emotions and stuff like that. I'm going to go through stuff daily. You know, it's some stuff that's going on in my life that I just feel like I want to change, that I'm not really satisfied with. But at the end of the day, I have a child whose childhood is dependent on me, and I don't want my child to look back and be like, oh, I had a messed up childhood because my mom was this type of person, or she wasn't like fully healed, so she took it out on me or nothing. Like, I want my baby's childhood to be the best. Like, I don't want her to struggle because of my feelings or whatever. So I pretty much just, I'm not gonna say I put my feelings to the side, because I don't think that it's right to do that either. Because like I said, you do have to make sure that you're good, and when you put your feelings to the side, that's you just run away from run away from reality. I just don't dwell on things. I just don't. Nothing makes me sad no more. I literally don't give energy to nothing if it's not benefiting her or me. And if you can't see that my baby is the epitome of my life, then we got to go. I have my days where I just want to be more so like in my shell a little bit more. But them sad days is over with. Your girl is a mother now. A mother, period. But let me know if y'all want me to do a more detailed, like a more intellectual video on like postpartum depression and specific, because I really do want to do a video on that. Like, I think I want to do like a whole little wine and talk with me, and like a whole just dedicated video to postpartum, because we got to talk about that more. Like, I feel like in the Black community or just in general, we don't really talk about that. Like, people not out here checking on moms these days, especially new moms, fresh new moms. People not checking up on them. And I don't like that. To summarize this video, my last question is, how would I rate my birth experience 1 through 10? And I would say obviously a 10 out of 10, because like I said, I created a life. There's nothing better that you can do in this world than that. Like, being able to create a life, everyone can't do that. And obviously that's very unfortunate, but I'm just saying, you know, everyone can't do that. So the fact that God picked me along with a lot of others, but God picked me to be able to do that is just like, I feel so honored to be able to have created such a beautiful human being. Like, my baby is so perfect, and I'm so honored to be her mom. So yes, I give it a 10 out of 10. Would recommend. No, I'm just playing. All right, you guys, so that does conclude today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I also hope you guys got some good information or whatever, got a little bit more of a peek on, like I said, my birth experience and just my pregnancy experience. I didn't really touch on too many questions pertaining to like my pregnancy. So if you guys have any more like questions pertaining to my pregnancy, or you know, or anything like that, then y'all can leave them down in the comment box below, and I'll do a separate video on like specifically pregnancy related questions. Or if you guys have any more questions relating to my birth experience that I did not get to answer in this video, you can leave those down in the comment box as well. Or you guys can actually feel free to DM me on my Instagram and ask me questions, which is Styles by Corsha. I'll leave it down in the bottom of the screen. And it's also always linked down in my description box below. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. Before you guys leave from this video, make sure to leave a like on this video, and also subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications so that you guys never miss any more uploads. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.